What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at this 2025 Toyota Corolla SE. This one is the sedan, finished off in ice cap with an MSRP at $27,500. So is this the best compact car you can buy? Is this better than a Honda Civic, which is also probably the leading contender in this class? So let's pop the hood, see what the Toyota Corolla is gonna pack underneath the hood. I definitely like the white color on this, kind of a stormtrooper vibe for sure. So underneath the hood, you're gonna find the 2-liter inline 4-cylinder naturally aspirated engine with 169 horsepower and 151 pound-feet of torque. It has a continuous variable transmission, front-wheel drive, and you're also looking at about 31 miles per gallon in the city with 40 on the highway, all running on a 13.2 gallon fuel tank. Taking a look at the headlights, one of my favorite parts is this really massive daytime running light, and the turn signal looks really nice. Got the blacked out housing, and I like how it's all connected through the center bar, so it kind of gives it a really cool vibe, really similar to a GR Corolla. This is a good spec. Got all this black trim throughout the front grille as well, huge openings, and then these little fins to give it a sporty look, same with these side corners. And I like how the front bumper kind of flows into those front fenders to give it more of a wide body appearance. Pretty good looking, compact, affordable car. Really can't complain at all. Got some sharp body lines on the hood as well, fading to the windshield, and then that front bumper kind of protrudes outwards as well to give it a nice look. You're gonna see a nice set of 18-inch wheels with a gunmetal gray color, and then just some sharp lines throughout the side profile. Gloss color on the lower side skirt as well. There's no cheap plastic throughout this car, so pretty nice to see painted colors. You can see the white on the mirror cap, turn signal. You also have our grab handle, and then you can see all of the black trim throughout these windows. For the side profile, the sedan has a pretty nice look. I think it's really proportional with the stubbier front and rear end. And then in back, you can see the little mud flaps, little contour right here, and the wider fender flares to give it that nice design. So in back, there's no LEDs on the taillights. You just have some basic halogen bulbs with the red and the clear, but they are again connected with the black trim to give it a cool look. Got your SE badge, and then this black diffuser with your 2 exhaust tips on the far right side. Pretty good looking car, nice and sporty for an affordable vehicle. And I like how the rear diffuser has these fins. So it looks nice and sporty for sure. So again, can't complain with an affordable car. Now, if we pop the trunk manually, I've already folded down the rear seats. You have a pretty good amount of space in here. Not bad at all, nice wide floor. And then if we peel this up a little bit, you are gonna get a spare tire. So you have all that equipment here as well. And then if we go ahead and close this, moving on to the interior, we can pop this open, and these are gonna fold nice and flat, giving you a good entry point into the back as well. To go ahead and fold them when they're up, there's gonna be a button right up here that you're just gonna press. So pretty easy to operate. You're gonna get 3 seats back here. You can even fold this down for armrests and cup holders. You have 2 USB-Cs up here, and then just this gray fabric with a little bit of texture to it. Kind of a neat design. And then this particular spec, kind of cool how the upper plastic is actually white. So for this specific car, it matches the exterior very nicely, giving it that stormtrooper vibe. You got the black vinyl on the armrest with red stitching. So simple interior, but nonetheless, kind of a nice design for an affordable vehicle. Hopping in here at 5'11" with the driver's seat at my height, I have plenty of leg room, pretty good headroom as well. Pretty good view around. The seats are actually pretty comfortable. So I'm sitting in it nice. There's good padding back and bottom, and I think they're at a pretty good recline to where I can get nice and comfy. Now these are definitely a little low, and your eyesight is up here. So it's a compact car, of course, but really can't complain. Onto the front seat now. We just climb out, not too bad, pretty good opening. The smart key will lock and unlock it from the door panel. And then you can see that same white material for the upper portion. You got the same contrast stitching, and then just a silver trim piece for the grab handle. There's gonna be all manual controls for the seat. You can pump this up and down to change your height. You got your recline lever, fuel cap, as well as trunk release are right there. And then there is a bar in the front of this to go ahead and slide the seat forwards and back. Now with my foot on the brake, let's fire it up. You got a nice black leather wrapped steering wheel with some silver trim. Cruise control settings over on the right side with forward pacing as well as lane keeping. You have some Bluetooth and audio on the left, and you can configure the screen just a little bit. You can see a few things in this menu, and then scrolling left and right, a few more items are gonna all pop up. So again, simple, affordable car, but nonetheless, you still get some pretty good basic technology. You have this dock on the right side for all the windshield wiper control, and then of course turn signals on the left with all of our headlights. We have the automatic high beams, interior dimming, more of this white. One complaint I have with this shape, sometimes my right knee will smash this corner when I'm hopping in just because of the design. So again, if you're coming up on 6 feet tall, you might want a Camry. Nonetheless though, you have some soft touch plastic material across the dash, and then more of this white material throughout the front as well, giving it a pretty good wraparound look. Now the screen in the center is basically what you're used to seeing on every Toyota, nothing really all too fancy about it. Super simple, it works really nicely. You're gonna get Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, so pretty easy ways to connect your phone, and then all sorts of basic settings as you would expect. Going into reverse, you're gonna get a nice backup camera with HD graphics, and then going back into park, we can take a look at our 2 air vents and then all the climate controls. So you're gonna get manual controls, very easily operation, fan speed on the right, your different zones, all that stuff. So super easy to use. You have storage down below, there's an extra USB-C, more of this white trim material as well, and then our gear selector. We have the brake hold and electronic parking brake, as well as some storage, and then some padded armrest material with the black vinyl. You can see a little bit of storage and plugs, and a nice sized glove box. One last look at the interior. Not a bad car, you know, it's fairly nicely laid out, obviously not too expensive, so not bad at all for the price point. Pretty similar, I would say, with the Honda Civic. You can see there are dome lights up above, and then just a basic manual mirror. All right, so setting off now in the 2025 Toyota Corolla. So I'm just in the Eco Drive mode. You can go down into the B right here. That'll kind of let you engine brake more, give you more resistance, kind of like a low range. So if you do leave it in that, it will be kind of peppy and get pretty high in the revs, but we'll just do a slow acceleration. Let's just bump it right into normal mode, or actually let's go right into sport and test out this economy car up to 35. So not trying to even floor it, it definitely revs a lot. There's not a lot of power in this car, so it does seem to definitely use a lot of the engine. And that's kind of regardless of the drive mode. So once you're up to speed, it's a pretty normal car to drive. I will say, seems like it works a lot to get up to speed. It's not that quick. Of course, you can get a hybrid version which will have a lot better power delivery. So this is not exactly anything peppy or quick. It's gonna use a lot of that engine to get you moving. When you are driving, one thing I'm noticing first, the steering has no feedback. It is insanely light, which does make it very easy to drive. You know, anybody's gonna be able to hop in this car and drive very nicely. One thing I'm noticing, there's a lot of glare, mainly because just like the texture of that plastic gives you kind of a weird design up on that windshield. Maybe it comes off on camera, but also this might have some of that shiny stuff on it, so you wanna clean that off, of course. But ride quality's fine. You are feeling the bumps for sure. It's not exactly a refined car. The seats though are pretty comfortable to where I do fit nicely. Armrests are in a good place. Good visibility overall. The mirrors all do a good job. And even though those headrests are fixed, you don't really have any crazy blind spots or anything looking over your rear. But not a bad place to be. Everything's simple to use. It's just a simple point A to point B kind of car, I would say. The brakes do a good job. I would say my only complaints with the driving are the fact that the steering is so light, it doesn't feel like it's connected to anything, kind of like some electric cars to where the steering wheel isn't connected. So it just kind of is, you're just turning a wheel, turning the car, which again, could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. But let's get back up to some speed in normal mode. Yeah, so it's really sluggish, and then when you give it like half throttle, it like shoots up the revs. So not a refined drive, I would say. Kind of just very economy car feeling, very basic. So it's an all right driving car, I would say. I wouldn't say this is the best driving economy car. Personally, I think the Honda Civic drives a lot better. So that is definitely going to be up for debate if you want to buy the Corolla or the Honda Civic, which are probably the two best in this class. Hyundai's Elantra is pretty good as well, and maybe even the Nissan Sentra. This is a huge class. There's a lot of cars in this. This is a fine to drive car, I would say. I would say that's probably the best way to describe the Corolla. It's fine. It does the job. It's going to be very, very reliable. And you know, if you're not flooring it more than half throttle, I mean, that was a nice, easy acceleration without really stressing the engine. And then overall ride quality, once again, on more of a bad road, you know, you hear the little bumps and things, but there's no wind noise or anything like that. And overall, it's a pretty decently comfortable driving experience for the money. Again, this is an inexpensive, one of the cheapest cars you can buy. So not a bad option to go for, especially if you're looking to save some money and just have a reliable point A to point B kind of car.